Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
It's good to see you all again.
If you're new here, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're Avery Street Design Studio.
We are.
So today's episode is going to be the 5th episode of our Christmas series. We took a break last week, but we're right back at it this week with some great ideas.
Yep.
Tell them what our first item is going to be.
We're going to do a very rustic pallet wood tree skirt. It's going to be kind of barn door like with the X's on each side. Pretty easy to build. I got to round up some pallet wood to do it with, but it's going to turn out really good. We like the way these look, so
yes,
this is a hot one.
And the next one is going to be a tree deer silhouette. It's going to have a big tree in the back, a smaller tree in front of that, and then a sitting deer or standing deer, I'm not sure which, in front of that, and each will have lights behind it.
Yeah, so they're all backlit.
Yeah, it's going to be
cool.
really pretty.
Yep. The third one, we're going to do a Christmas church. I know you've all seen them. There's a million ways you can do them.
Super rustic and really cool looking. I love them.
We've kind of picked out a couple that we like that we're going to combine. Super simple to build. Yeah. They're cool.
And then the last thing we're going to build today is a Christmas tree card holder. When you get the Christmas cards in the mail, it'll be a cute little way to display your cards. It'll have 3 different tiers in front of a Christmas, hooked to a Christmas tree. Well, you'll see it when we're done. But it's a really neat idea because nobody ever really knows where to put all these Christmas cards you get, if you get a lot in the mail anyways.
Yeah, we'll probably take some combination of the first episode trees we did and combine them to make this. Yes. Very cool.
And if I have time this week, we'll see. I'm going to do a bonus project. I'm going to do some signs, and I'm going to show you guys the stencils that I got off Temu. And I'm going to make some little sitters. I said I was going to make those in the first episode and then never got around to doing it. So I'll try to get those this week and just show you the different kinds of font and stencils to make for those. And those always turn out really cute. I love those, just sitting around with Christmas kind of words on them. They're really cute. So.
Try to keep these episodes under an hour if we can help it. I know an hour is a long time to watch a YouTube video, so if we have time, we'll squeeze that one in. If not, we'll do it in another one.
Yep, and we will also this week do our viewer submissions. We didn't have time to do it last week. We were just so pressed for time. Busy, it was a busy week. We had those custom builds. We had our regular business we had to do, and we had a special event at our church over the weekend.
Took up a lot of time.
We were there Saturday, Sunday morning, and Sunday night, and there was a bake sale that I had to bake for. So
we didn't forget about you guys. We're still going to show them. We appreciate y'all sending them in, so they will be in this episode.
Yes. So you guys stick around till the end, and you'll see all the finished products, the measurements, and pricing.
And while we're talking about it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps a ton. We appreciate you guys that do. So just throwing that in there.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to get back to Christmas stuff.
I'm
having fun with it,
y'all.
So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so to get started on our deer Christmas tree silhouette, I just sketched out a Christmas tree design. I actually just took a piece of paper, taped 2 pieces of paper together so it'd be tall enough, and sketched out the shape I liked, and then cut it kind of like you cut snowflakes with the folded paper, and then that made a tree. And then I did the same thing for a smaller one to go in front of it. And then I found a deer silhouette online, and I just printed it out and blew it up to the size I liked. And these are what I'm going to use as my templates for cutting these out. We're going to cut them out on 1/4" MDF sheets. We bought those, so those are not free. So there'll be a little cost involved. That's fairly inexpensive.
$25, I think.
Yeah. So we'll have Aaron cut it down to size, and then we'll sketch them out and cut them on the scroll saw.
All right, we've got our 1/4" MDF. We're gonna shave off a 9" wide piece, and that will give us everything we need for this particular project. All right, we need 3 pieces of this. We need one at 15, one at 15, one at 12, and one at 7.
Okay, so Aaron cut these pieces of MDF down to size for me. So I am I can't even talk. I'm just gonna trace this so that I'll have a pattern for the scroll saw. Okay, I'm just gonna cut out, I've trimmed down the edges so there's not so much excess on the side. It makes it easier. Now I'm just gonna start cutting it out. All right, there we go.
All right, we've got the parts cut out, the base cut out. We're gonna attach the parts to the base with little strips of, that's 1/2" MDF. I'm gonna drill and countersink some holes in each one, and then we'll glue them to the piece and nail them in, and then we'll screw them down. It's a lot of information. Okay, we've drilled the holes. We're gonna go ahead and nail the back pieces on, and then we're gonna paint them before we put it together. It's a lot of glue.
All right, so I'm gonna paint the tree that'll be in the very back. I'm gonna paint it gray. And I'm also gonna paint the reindeer. I'm going to paint him like a brown color, and then I'm gonna dry brush some white on him. All right, I've set the tree in front of a fan to dry. I'll wait till the front dries and then I'll paint the edges. So I'm gonna dry brush this deer to lighten it up. So.
Alright, the pieces have all been painted. We've kind of marked out on the base where we want them to go. So I'm going to, starting with the deer, start screwing them into the base.
Very nice. So I have bought some Christmas picks, some greenery from Hobby Lobby, and I've cut them off the stem with my wire cutters, and I'm just going to staple it down. I kind of laid it out on there before doing this to position I liked. And I choose to staple stuff like this down because hot glue usually comes undone, and I think this is just stronger. It's just what I prefer. Everybody has their own preferences, so. Especially if you're doing craft shows, it's better to better to staple it down, because in transit stuff like that can come unglued. You don't want to have to get out your hot glue gun at a craft show and start gluing stuff. And so I'll just continue doing this. I'm going to put some behind it, and I'm going to put some over here. And then I'm going to put LED lights behind here, the micro LED lights we've talked about before. I've got some, and I'm put them back here so it'll be backlit. And I'll put some behind the, behind the deer also. And then that'll be it.
Okay, now we're going to start on the Christmas church. If you guys were with us on our Spend the Day with Us video, you saw us go to the huge mountain of reclaimed wood that we were digging through. We got this piece there, and it is fantastic. This is like a 1x8 or 2x8 piece of old gnarly cedar that's just weathered. We're going to use it to make the church. I can't think of a cooler piece of wood to use, so let's get started on that. Alright, we are here at the miter saw. We're going to cut this chunk of wood into pieces. We're going to start with a 14-inch middle piece and two shorter 10-inch side pieces, and then we're going to kind of rip them down on the table saw, so let's get going on that. Okay, we're gonna cut these down to their finished sizes, but first I'm gonna take one edge off the edge of each one of these boards so we have two clean looking edges when it's put together. Alright, we're going to use our extreme angle miter jig on this one. This is, I can't see the angle right now, I'll tell you in a second. That is a 60, about a 67.5 degree cut. That's 46 degrees. This middle piece is 4 inches wide, so I measured 2 inches on either side of this seam. Alright, we got some long, heavy gauge finish nails. We're gonna nail these together. Then we'll flip it over and put some in the back too. Okay, we've got all the little roof liner pieces cut, and we're gonna glue them and we're gonna nail them in. Yeah, these they're just straight pieces. There's no angles to them.
For the lower half.
Yep, for the lower, and then the upper one is kind of a ordeal. Whatever I said originally on this angle, 67.5, I believe. She's right. I used my super duper angle jig and carefully cut these tiny pieces.
Can you turn it back?
Well, I gotta turn around to cut it or nail it. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna glue that one. Maybe. Actually, I might need you to nail it. If you can come around here. Have some assistance from my beautiful wife.
Okay, I'm gonna be right in front of the camera.
This one. We nailed the front. There you go. Do that one. Okay, I can get it. Thank you. One church. Very cool.
Okay, so when we cut out the windows and the door on the XTOOL machine, we also cut out a backing for them. And what I'm gonna do is paint these backing pieces to look like stained glass, because churches have stained glass. So all I did was paint kind of like an ombre, a variety of colors that kind of blend into each other. You can use blue, purple, pink, red, orange, any color or a variety of colors. I just chose to go with blues. And it's just going to be really simple. I'm just going to start off with my darkest color on the bottom. See if you can see that. I'll set that off to the side. And I had spray painted these white first. And then before we put them together, I'm gonna go around these edges with my marker, Faber-Castell marker, and make them black so they'll match the fronts of the windows. And I'm just gonna do the same thing to the door. So that's pretty much it.
All right, guys, so this week we are mentioning the people that sent in the viewer submission pictures.
Yes.
Sorry we didn't get to them last week. We had a little bit different video going on, but we're doing it now, and we're glad you guys sent them in. The first one is Matt Whitwell. He did some awesome stuff.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Picture. He did the cool herringbone tree on the dark background, and he did some little open Christmas trees. They all turned out really good.
They look fantastic.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Matt, for sending them in.
Yes.
And the next one is Stephen, I believe, Hawley, I'm sorry. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
He did a whole bunch of stuff. Here's the picture. He did lots of fall decor, the little set of monsters, the little black cats. Just a lot of cool fall and Halloween decor.
They all look amazing.
They do. Thank you,
guys are
Stephen.
so talented.
You are. We love seeing the stuff you guys send us.
Yep. So if you want to send them in, once again, here's the email address.
Right here at the bottom.
You'll send it to, and of course, we'll show your stuff and give you credit, just like we did. And we just love seeing that you guys are building this stuff, and that what we're doing is, you know, Inspiring, yes.
Yeah, we love that.
We love it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, we're starting on the Christmas tree card holder. I've glued up some pallet wood, and we're gonna rip this piece down to 8 inches wide, and then we'll start cutting the angles for the tree. Alright, we're going to start out by setting the saw at 31.6, and we're going to make 3 cuts. The first one is 17 3/4. Second one is 13 inches, and then about 8.5.
Explain to them that you flipped the board over so the angle will be the other direction.
Right.
Someone had a question about that.
Okay. This tree, well, obviously they're opposite angles, so I've made my first 31-degree cut and I'm flipping it over, so the angle will be going the opposite direction for the other side of the tree. What did I say that was? 17 3/4. Okay, those are 3 parts.
Okay.
But I have changed this top piece that looked too big. That is 8.5 inches instead of 10. So
what's the degree of the angle that you cut?
31.6.
Okay.
So we got our cutoff piece from the table saw. We're just gonna use it as the stem of the tree. We're just going to use some staples and some glue. We're just going to Okay, I've gone and cut a 1-inch wide piece of 1x4 for the cards to sit on. I've also angled each of the ends of each piece to correspond to the angles on each of the branches. So we've got them all cut, and I'm going to glue them, and I'm just going to line them up with the bottom of each of the branches, and we're going to staple them on. Okay, we're going to make a foot for the tree to sit on, and then we're going to build a little box around it to make it pretty. That's what I've come up with. I'm going to try to do this so I'm out of the way.
Four hands are better than 2.
We're doing a lot of teamwork here today.
This makes the dream work.
It does. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna use some pieces of 1.5 by 1.5 inches.
And is that just to make it heavier?
Yeah, kind of weigh it down. We're just gonna wrap the whole base of it like that. Alright, we've got the card tree. All the holes are filled. It's been sanded pretty good. We're just going to paint it with some white. We think that'll be the best route to take with this. Just going to use my roller and just paint her up. Alright guys, now we're going to start the tree skirt, the super rustic barn door looking tree skirt. This one's going to take a lot of wood, so I would suggest pallets if you have access to them, because this could get semi-expensive with new wood prices. We've got 16 pieces of 1x4 to cut up right now, and I'm going to start by cutting them all to 27 inches, and then we'll go rip them down at the table saw.
How many pallets would you say that was? About 3?
That was, yeah, about 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're going to plan on selling these, it's a lot of pallets. So if you like them and you want to build it, prepare for cost or no cost, however you want to do it. Alright, we've got everything cut down to length. Now we're going to cut it down to width. I'm going to cut everything to 3.5 inches, so the finished height of each one of the panels will be 14 inches. Alright, we've got all the body pieces cut, and we've got 8 of the side trims cut. We're going to go ahead and nail those on, and then we'll work on all the top and bottom pieces of trim. I've got some 1.5 inch staples. It's going to be just barely fit in this wood without going through the back side probably, but we'll hope for the best. There we go. Look, almost you shoot them at an angle, they won't go through the backside.
So why are you sanding those before you put the X's on?
I was going to say, it's been my experience when we build barn door clocks once in a while, and you won't be able to get to this bottom piece to sand when everything's put together. So I put the 2 sides, usually on this clock it's a top and a bottom. And when I get those 2 attached, I give the middle a good quick sand, because this is the only time you'll have access to it. Okay, we've got all the sides cut and nailed on now. We've cut all of the top and bottom pieces of trim, also at 1 3/4 inches wide. These are all about 23 3/8 inches long, give or take a 1/16 of an inch. So I've gone ahead and cut them all, and we're going to go ahead and install them now the same way with the glue and the staples, or finish nails if you don't have staples. Okay, now the kind of tricky part of putting the middle of these together. I've gone ahead and given you guys the measurements. I wrote them on that board. The outer angle is 21 degrees. The inner steep angle is 49.5 degrees. And to find those, the easiest way to do that is to put your wood across and get your bevel gauge and measure that angle, and then take it over to your miter saw and line up your saw throat plate with that angle. If that makes any sense. So I've gone ahead and cut all these, and for the interest of time, fit them together, so we just have to assemble them. And they're all more or less exactly the same. Alright, that's it assembled. Then we will put them all together at the end. So we've got all of our panels put together, and we're going to take a piece of trim and cover each end of 2 of the panels, because when they butt up it's going to have kind of an ugly unfinished look. So we're going to put a piece of trim that's 1.5 inches by the height of the panel, which is 14. And we're just going to staple it to the end so you don't see this ugly unfinished end when it's put together. Alright guys, so I've went ahead and sprayed some primer on these. I didn't show that on video. It's pretty boring stuff. So now we're going to put a coat of the finish paint on it, just flat white, and then we'll distress it. I just used some spray kills. You can get it anywhere. I always do the inside of the panel with a brush so I can get in all the corners, and then I come back and roll the face of it, the X and the frame, and come back, and there will undoubtedly be runs from the roller, so I'll brush them out at the end. Pretty basic stuff. I know you guys like seeing the painting, so here it is. There you go. So I tried to make this as easy as possible to put together. We just bought some little L brackets and some very small screws, and we're going to just join the corners together with the brackets and the screws. That way when you're done with it, you can just take it apart and stack it up and it won't take very much room up. The easiest way I found to put these on is to lay it face down, lay the shorter side face down, and just line up the edge of your brackets with the edge of the panel. And then you don't have to worry about trying to hold the bracket in while you're screwing them together. There it is, all put together.
All right, so these are the projects we did this week. We had the Christmas tree card holder, which turned out so good. We love that.
It did. This one was a pallet project. You saw us cutting the wood we glued together. It is cool.
It was fairly easy.
Zero cost in that one.
Yes, just the paint.
Yep, we would sell that one for $60.
And the price varies what you think you can get, or if you're selling them locally or at a show, or, you know, there's also those, I don't know if you have them in your area, those like craft malls where you set up a booth and they put tags on your stuff, and it's like a commission-based place. Some of them are, or some of them you can pay like a booth rent and sell your stuff in those places. Those are great too.
Yep, those types of places, this might sell a little more, for a little more.
Yep.
Etsy, there's lots of competition, so
yeah,
consider that. Plus, consider your shipping on this.
Yes.
The next one is the cool little
Christmas church.
Church, yeah.
It turned out adorable. Now, we used the wood that we got at that a couple of videos ago. On our Q&A video, we showed you a place locally that was giving away free wood, and I think it just turned out adorable.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And of course, we made the windows on our XTOOLs. Now, you could also do those on a scroll saw if you don't have an XTOOL or something like that.
Yep.
And I did the faux stained glass. And I wanted this to be a Christmas church. I'm going to keep this year round. I'm keeping this one for me. But I wanted to Christmas it up a little more, so I bought these little miniature wreaths, and I got those at Hobby Lobby. They're just little miniature Christmas tree ornaments. They were $3.99 for 6 of them, which they're half off, so that made them $1.98. You can't beat that.
No.
So yeah, it wasn't much cost involved in that, but I wanted to show you guys these. So. And
you guys don't need to use the super old weathered wood. We just got really lucky and found that piece. I don't know if we'll ever find another like it.
Yeah. If you wanted to make your wood look old, though, you could always beat it up and then use that stain. What's that stain called?
It's the aging liquid or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Minwax brand?
I don't really know.
Yeah. You could use something like that. There's plenty of ways to age them. And also a white one would look really pretty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just however you want to do it. But it turned out really cute.
So if we were to sell this one, we would probably sell it for between $50 and $65.
Yes.
Depending, where we're at or how we're listing it.
Yeah. But it's staying with me.
Yeah, we're keeping this one.
That's all in this one.
And there's a billion different versions of this you can make.
Yeah.
This one's a lot wider than a lot of the ones we've seen, and thicker wood because that's what we had. But yeah, you can do them however you want, and they're all really cool.
Yeah, you could do them white and then paint the little roof. What are those called? Overhangs.
Yeah.
You could paint those black and kind of make it like a farmhousey style and all kinds of things. So love it.
Love it. The next one is the little deer scene silhouette thing.
And I think it turned out beautiful.
It does. It looks so cool.
Yes. Now, the cost involved in that, of course, was the wood. We bought a $25 sheet of 1/4 inch MDF. But we could probably get 10 to 20 of these out of that one sheet.
Space them right. You could really...
So that would bring the cost down for the wood to like $2.50 or $1.25 if there was 20 of them, which I think we could get that many out. And the greenery, I bought at Hobby Lobby again. I bought some extra, so I'll show you guys. These are the little picks. Like this one's $2.99, $2.99, $2.99. Well, they're half off, so they were $1.50 a piece. So of course you need to count that cost in your item. And then the little micro LED lights. But if you get those on Temu or Temu, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, you can get them really cheap. And they come with the batteries and everything in them. You just turn them on. And speaking of Temu, I didn't get around to making a sign this week. Now I did do sitters, but I wanted to show you guys all these stencils I've ordered from there. They come with a little like keychain thingy, and they have a hole punched in them, so you can just flip them through. That I got that size.
So many of them for next to nothing. So cheap.
This little tiny size for ornaments, and then all the way up to bigger sizes. Like this one's got some Christmas trees. It's really cool. And then a what does that say? Believe in the magic. And
a lot of them.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I still do plan on making some signs with them. Or these would be great for ornaments, just whatever. You know, they're you can't beat them.
Yeah, those are cool. The last big build we did was the tree skirt. I can't put it here with us. It's sitting on the floor right there.
Yeah.
I will put a picture of it in the grass so you can see it up close. You guys saw me putting it together. That's a big project, and you should definitely charge for that if you're going to do it. We would charge between $125 and $150.
Yes.
You could ship it for pretty cheap because you just have to stack them on top of each other. So I mean, maybe $30 to ship it, and that's what we would charge. Probably more like $150 because it's a time-consuming project.
Yeah, and there's multiple different designs you can do, different colors you can paint them. I've seen them stained, painted black and distressed, which I love that. And you know, with or without the barn door X.
The X is the kind of time-consuming part. You have to.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get it lined up and measured out and your angles right. So I'm great with angles, you know.
And then we did our sitters like we had done for fall and Halloween.
Yep.
A variety of different sayings. One says sleigh bells, Merry Christmas, Santa Claus, Happy Holidays.
Snowflake.
Yeah.
All that.
And those I would sell for between $8 to $10, depending on where you're selling them and all that stuff.
And those we made out of, those are 2 pieces of 2x6. They're 10 inches long and they're just split in half. So 2x6s are super cheap for price right now. They're like $6 for an 8-foot.
You can also make those out of the pallet runners too.
You could. That would be free.
Yeah. So, and a little bit of craft paint. If you get your craft paint at Hobby Lobby, it's 49 cents for the little thing. But, you know, you can get it on Amazon and everywhere. So keep all that. I always, you know, really try to look for the most inexpensive, best products to use. So, oh, and by the way, you guys, it is finally feels like fall here in Oklahoma. I got to wear a sweatshirt today.
That's right.
I am so happy. It might not seem that very cool to some people, but it's like in the 60s today.
It's
so
like winter here now.
Yeah, we're so used to being so hot, so it's great. I love
exciting.
Fall. Yes.
We may have to dip back into the fall project to celebrate.
Yep. So I think that's
Yep, that's all the projects for this week. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, it greatly helps us out.
It does. And if you want to participate in the viewer submissions, I will put our email address in the description of the video.
Yes.
And also want to thank XTOOL for the product we get to use constantly with the little church windows and stuff. We appreciate it. Thank you, XTOOL.
Yes, thank you. We absolutely love that machine.
We use it as much as we can.
The only thing that's weird about it, our dogs are scared to death of the thing. I don't know why. They think that it's going to like laser them in half or something, but anytime it comes on and beeps, they all like run into the other room and hide.
As far as I know, it hasn't chased any of the dogs yet,
just like the vacuums never sucked them up either. They're so scared of that too.
So,
but
that'll do it for this week, guys. We appreciate you watching very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.